Hello. I added noise suppression on OBS, so hopefully they'll make my voice a little better. Um, I don't know. My iPad's charging right now, so I can't watch the tutorial. I'm gonna do as much as I can remember, and hopefully we can fix the problem that I had last time. Since the video footage is 4 hours long, I'm going to talk to you about something. I just watched Monsters University the other day, I think 2 or 3 days ago, and it is my second favorite movie. I've watched it multiple times before, and I'm going to talk about it because I don't want to talk about 4 hours of what I did in Blender. So, the reason that I like Monsters University is because it's about Mike Wazowski finding his passion to be a scarer since he was little. Like, he finds his passion when he's like, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe 10 years old, around there. And he is so dedicated to that career or his passion of his dream job that he spends his whole childhood working hard to achieve that goal. And lots of people make fun of him because he's naturally not scary looking like most monsters are. And that makes it harder for him. But that doesn't stop him. He continues, he perseveres. He continues working hard to be a scarer, even though it's not easy while it is for other people. And he doesn't let that stop him. So we skip to him going to college, and he gets there. He's been working his whole life for this, and so he's real excited. We get to see his roommate is Randall, which is a cool scene, because they play it as they think it's gonna be Sully. When Mike Wazowski first gets there, he's walking through the campus, and people are advertising their clubs, and he gets the Scare Games flyer just because he just grabs it. Then Mike Wazowski eventually goes to class, and that's when Sully comes in. Sully is a jerk and mean, and he's just naturally scary, so he doesn't have to work hard. His family line is naturally scary, so he has that behind him. He's just really good at, and he's done nothing for that. Versus Mike, who's not scary, but has worked his whole life to get there. So we got these two complete opposites. And that's just really discouraging to see solely for Mike. But he perseveres anyways. Sully and them start to fight after a pig incident, um, which leads to a fight at the finals, and it's bad, and it breaks something, something very important, the world record, or at least personal record of an important character's scream record, and they break it, so they get expelled, I think, and or suspended, one of the two, and that's dream crushing for Mike. But Mike Wazowski doesn't give up. He enters the scare games and he gets a bunch of really not scary monsters to be on his team. And he also gets Sully to be on his team. He asks Mrs. Whoever, I can't remember her name. We're going to call her Mrs. Miss. We're going to call her Mrs. Miss. Mrs. Miss. Um, he convinces her. Mike Wazowski convinces Mrs. Miss to enter, if he enters the scare games and wins, that he can come back and be unexpelled, which means he could get his work for his job again. So the whole movie now is Mike Wazowski training these not scary monsters to be their very best. and Sully is also on their team. So we also see them work out their differences. The further we get along the movie, we see Mike Wazowski change all of them. He heightens their spirits, and he makes them believe in themselves. Sully, he changes Sully too. Sully sees the character that Mike Wazowski is. Then they start proving everyone wrong, and they start winning at the scare games. It's not easy. There's mistakes made, and there's trouble, but they do it. Then it becomes to the final scare games. This is it. It's them against Roar Omega Roar, a mean group of people who don't like them and have been mean to them from the beginning. So they go out there. They have to scare the scare simulator. They have to scare the scare simulator enough to more than the other person to win. And so it's a bunch of not scary monsters versus really scary monsters. One's worked way harder than the other, and that's Mike Wazowski's team. But before it, Mrs. Miss convinces or gets Sully to realize that Mike Wazowski isn't scary, and that's going to be the downfall of their team. So Sully cheats. In this cheating, Mike Wazowski finds out, and he's really mad. Obviously, because Sully cheated because he didn't think he was scary. That hurts his feelings. And so he goes to the college campus, finds a door to go into the real world because he wants to prove him wrong. When he gets there, when he goes to scare the kids, they're not scared, which proves Mike wrong, that he is not scary, even though he worked so hard. Then Sully goes to save him after he finds out that Mike went to the real world because they think humans are toxic and kill you if they touch you. So they think that Mike is in a life or death situation. So Sully goes in there anyways, illegally, against the rules, and he goes and finds Mike, and they have a heartwarming talk. And I'm going to let Mike say it for himself. I don't have storage anymore, but he says that he believed that if he tried hard enough and wanted it enough, he would get it. He would complete his dreams. That part it's just such a great movie. But then Mike Wazowski uses his brains and Sully uses his natural scary looks to get the kids to scream, to get the humans, grown men, to scream enough to open the door, and it screams so much that it does this, and Mrs. Miss realizes like they did something very serious. Like that was good of scaring. That was a good scaring job, and they find out it was Mike who planned it all, and she was like, "Wow, okay, he's actually good." They get expelled. Obviously, that was illegal and bad and dangerous. And they go. What do they do? As they're leaving, Sully talks to Mike because Mike thinks everything he's ever done was kind of pointless and his dreams are crushed. Sully comes up and he snaps him out of that thought process, and he's like, "No, you've got it." He says, "You're not scary, not even a little." But he is fearless. Then they work in the mailroom, And they work their way up that way. They go from the mailroom to like cafeteria to janitor, all the way up to being scarers. In the end, Mike and Sully are in charge of Monsters Incorporated. So I it's my second favorite movie because a lot of movies have happy endings, and real life has a lot of sad endings. And I do believe that we need movies to have good endings because life has too many sad ones. But I love how even though Mike Wazowski tried so hard, he fails. Years and years and years of trying, not even trying, doing so much hard work, he fails. Gets expelled. Life just sometimes smacks you in the face, and that was a perfect representation of that. Even though other people don't even have to try and they succeed, Mike tried harder than anyone and he failed. He still makes it to the top eventually. Just it's a great movie because even though life is hard sometimes, even if you work hard, there's going to be hard things in life. You can get it all right. There's going to be hard things. And Mike perseveres no matter what happened, even when he got expelled and he should have quit, but he didn't, and he made it to the top. So that's why it's my favorite movie. This is what this looks like. It took me 4 hours, and I hope you enjoyed.